Welcome back to regular programming. Now it's time for the super fun happy horror hour with your hosts, Adam and Mike. Well, already very early in the days of this podcast, and we're creating specials already, Mike. This is going to maybe be an ad hoc thing. So this first special that we're doing is about weapons. We were both really excited to watch this one in theaters because of how with the buzz around it, and it is in the zeitgeist. And I managed to see it today. Mike's seen it twice already, I believe. So we're here to talk about weapons. There will be spoilers in this, so if you have not seen the film, please go watch it. And you'll both hear from us that we both are going to recommend it very highly. So watch the film before you listen to this podcast. But please come back and hear our ramblings, and hopefully we try and make some sense of it for you all. Mike, how are you going, mate? Thank you for agreeing to do this special and the other ones that we'll do in future, whatever they may be.
Well, I haven't agreed to the future ones yet, but yeah, no,
Well,
this one
there might not be
I
one,
just
but that's the thing is, yeah.
Well, I mean, especially when let's reiterate and say it's about the movie, not actual like firearms or lethal weapons or anything like that. If we're talking
So
about
yes,
weapons
of course,
specials.
weapons the
Yeah.
movie. We're not talking about AK-47s or stabby things. Yes,
No.
the Zach Cregger 2025. Um, well, relative blockbuster, I suppose, at the moment. So yeah, I mean, I've got things I want to talk about and discuss with you, being the guru, and actually just some general things too about how well the state of cinema overall, and we'll get into that conversation as we move along. So we are going to obviously try and keep this to an hour or below this one, as it is a special. We're not going to rant and tangent. Fingers crossed, and we'll see how we go. Mike, so you've seen this twice now.
Yeah, twice.
What are your
Hopefully three times.
what are your general thoughts? Just
Look,
before we get into spoilers and stuff.
I think I think I'm interested to see what Cregger does next, purely for the fact that there were, and I should say what IP he does next, because we've
Yeah.
heard, and we'll get
Ah,
on to
yes.
what his future looks like at the moment. And that I don't count, but basically the way that I see it, and obviously we will sort of dissect the movie as we go on in this episode, is he has now delivered two movies that have started off potentially allowing viewers to believe that they're going one way, and then just,
Mm.
unleashing some sort of hurricane where, like, both movies now I've watched, and as they have unraveled, I've been like, what the fuck? I didn't see that coming at all.
Hmm.
Um,
Okay, that's interesting. Because for weapons, I don't know if foresaw the absolute end result, but I certainly foresaw a large chunk of it or a large reasoning of it. But
yeah. I
I'll explain that further when we get into spoilers.
I had the feeling that it necessarily wouldn't be a like, let's say, like a happy ending. I didn't
Mm,
necessarily think, for instance, that the kids would either return or what
mm.
state they'd be in. Like, just because Kreger has delivered a movie before that wasn't necessarily all about happy endings either. Um,
Well, yeah, I mean, this is, I mean, already gone beyond into spoilers, but for me, it's not a happy or a sad ending. It's just an ending.
I
And
mean, it is. I think it's sad though, just
it's,
because like the
well,
kids
yeah,
are
there are.
left in that state.
So okay, we're already straight into spoilers. So exactly, but they're not. Um, but the kids aren't. They're alive, so that's a happy side of it, right? But they're all obviously all also traumatic. And one of the final lines is, well, some of them even started speaking again this year. Um, it's a it's a happy sad ending, and that's one of the pros to it is that it is an ending, and it is something that would be a viable ending to this type of thing they've been through, I suppose.
Yeah, like I didn't want, a click of fingers, like a snap of fingers, or I guess a snap of a stick to completely undo everything
Yeah.
that occurred, just
Mm,
because it has such a build up that, and it
mm,
shows that there's like a vast importance as to what's occurring, that I think if they would have easily solved it, it
mm.
would have diminished, I guess, the overall like aspects of what occurred. Um, but before we
Yeah.
dive too much into that and go like too much into spoiler territories, I think what it is I had a feeling that the like that the outlier of the movie would have something to do with a person. I didn't, I wasn't going into it thinking like aliens. I wasn't
Oh
thinking
no,
a
no.
virus or anything like that. Like,
As much as he
uh,
tries to make you
um,
think it might be aliens at one point.
I think, well, yeah, and he definitely wants you to think that there's 101 different things as to what could have caused it. I mean, my
Hmm.
initial reaction, I actually thought that it was going to be um like a cult. Um, but I
Okay.
wasn't thinking necessarily like like a satanic type cult. I was very much
Mm.
thinking like almost like a Waco cult. Like sort of like the Jim Jones sort of.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
And I was
Yep.
thinking more of that, and that because there had been time that had passed, like
Mm.
I think it was like at least a month or something had passed since they disappeared.
Yep.
Um,
Yep.
that would have been, that basically these kids were like brainwashed, into
Yeah. Yeah.
doing. And so I was actually sort of thinking, like, there's a chance, like, are we gonna get like a drink the Kool-Aid situation here?
Mm. Mm. Or drink the Campbell soup situation. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. And so
What's
when
their
I
stock
my
store?
yeah, yeah, well, it already has. They've said
Has
that
it?
chicken soup is actually gone.
Is that right?
Yeah, yeah. So
That's
but
fantastic.
yeah, so I actually thought that it was going to be a little bit more grounded than what it was, or like what the
Well, yeah. Yeah.
result was.
Mm. Okay.
Just because, like, I know that obviously he doesn't necessarily keep everything like grounded in reality, like he didn't with Barbarian. There was, sort of
Yeah.
almost
Yeah. Yeah.
supernatural aspects to that. Um, I think he likes to merge things. Like he likes to
Yep.
keep it moderately, like realistic.
Yes. Yeah. They are the characters are very grounded. The situation may not be. So even in
Um,
Barbarian, you've got Justin Long, the Airbnb. It's all very grounded, all very realistic things that could happen.
mm,
But the horror element is the stuff that is a little bit, just a little bit above realism. But again, with weapons, I mean, looking back, when she sees the word witch written on her car, I'm just watching that thinking, well, someone just saying she's a witch because their kids have disappeared. Never for one second thinking that that was
yeah,
that was the clue, right? I never even considered that, which I feel dumb about, not even thinking, oh, it must be a witch then. Never thought of it because the whole time in my head, I was like, the boy's definitely got something to do with it. He was the only one left in class. Of course, he got something to do with it. I thought he might have been the supernatural power or something that drew them in, and because I just assumed he was bullied. He's only bullied by one kid. He wasn't bullied by all of them necessarily. So the fact that he got them, well, until we find out why all 17 of them go, the fact that he only one of them bullied him, but all 17 went before we find out what happens, that was making me scratch my head. So I think generally he sets up a mystery really, really well. And that's thanks to the way he's telling this story in chapters from the character perspectives. I think that was a masterstroke in telling this story. I think it's brilliant. And that's what keeps that mystery alive until even only halfway through you start figuring stuff out, which is kind of pretty early, to be honest. Yeah. Any
yeah.
to that?
Um, when it comes to like the chapters, what I liked about it is obviously we've had movies where we've either had numbered chapters,
Mm-hmm.
Named chapters, chapters named after characters, like in this
Yeah.
one.
Yep.
Things like Strange Darling even had the
Mm-hmm.
chapters in a completely different order. Um,
Yep.
and obviously they're always used in a certain way to convey the story in a certain way. Like there's
Yeah.
reasons behind it.
Yeah. Well,
Um,
recently, The Life of Chuck did that, and they did it, but it was the three acts were told backwards.
yeah. So what I liked about this one is the fact that these chapters were character based. When I was watching the first one, I was like, okay, character based, I'm guessing, like unless they
Hmm.
went and like the second chapter, I don't know, it was named liquor store or something, like
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
but
Like a yeah.
yeah, I was like, okay, so the character based. And a part of me was a little bit apprehensive.
Mm-hmm.
I've seen character based chapters done before where it actually becomes very like repetitive, to the
Yeah.
point where it just feels like you're like chewing the fat of something that should have been
Yeah.
cut off.
Yeah.
And they're like generally used as a way to like pad out a movie.
Yep.
Um, and I generally, when that occurs in a movie that I watch, I
Mm.
find it very cheap and deceiving.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um,
I agree. Yep. Good point.
but
Did you find that in this movie? Because I actually
no,
thought this is a really tight 2 hours.
yeah, and
But
I didn't find it in this one, and I think there's two things that he did, like that Zach Cregger's did perfectly, that
mm,
made it work so well. So the first one was like deliberately showing the same footage from a different angle. Instead of just showing it,
yes. Yeah. Yeah.
like
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
you're seeing it. And then I also liked basically each character got like a before and after sort of thing. You saw the lead up as to, like if two characters met in one character's story, when you saw
Yes.
that other character, you saw how they got to that moment.
It was a different angle. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Um, and
It's
I
brilliant.
really like that because it's
Mm.
it's making it that you're never unraveling the story at the exact time until towards, I think it's like
Yes.
towards
Yeah.
the end, then it does sort of just unravel into one story sort of
Yeah.
thing. um but so you're learning things, and I really like that because that instead of like um explaining everything out to you, they're allowing you as a viewer to pay attention to what's happening per
Mm-hmm.
character, because there were little things in there that maybe people didn't pick up on, or a character look at a certain thing,
Mm-hmm.
um, and then it goes into it and go, okay, like this is cool. I like that we've learnt these things. Um, we learn as to why they tried to like break into that building, run from the cops, all that sort of
Mm-hmm.
stuff. With the kid,
James, the
with
crackhead.
yeah, so
I
played
love
by
that.
an
Os
amazing Austin Abrams,
yeah.
like
Yeah.
was
He was
amazing in that.
great. Yeah. That
Um,
to be fair, all the performances are really great, and I kind of want to call out the kid, Kerry Christopher, who plays Alex, the main kid, the surviving kid in it. I think he's
yeah,
phenomenal. He's so subdued and so brilliant. He says a lot in his eyes. So, yeah, he was really impressive. I mean, Josh Brolin is Josh Brolin, big fan of his. And Julia and Alden Ehrenreich, I can give or take, to be honest. But
yeah,
Julia
and
Garn,
even in this movie, I was still a little bit I could give or
yeah,
take with, like, but I
yeah.
was impressed still.
Oh, yeah, he's fine. He's fine. Julia
Probably, in all
Garner's really
honesty,
good.
like probably my favorite performance of Alden's. Not that I'm a big fan of a lot of his, but I
Uh,
think he,
I'm trying to think. I've seen him in Solo and Oppenheimer. He's very, very good in Oppenheimer for the brief time he's
Cocaine
in it.
Bear.
Oh, Cocaine Bear. Yeah, I didn't even remember he was in that.
um, but yeah, like there was just things like that that I was like, okay, I,
Do,
but I was happy with all of them. The this is such a small thing, and I don't understand how it happened, and it's bothered me ever since I looked at Letterboxd after logging it.
okay.
So how Alex's parents are referred to, so they're credited as Mr. Lilly
Yeah.
and Mrs. Lilly. The kid is Alex Lily, right?
Yeah.
So you would assume that if they're Mr. and Mrs., right, they're married.
Yeah.
Um, good. Gladys's last name is Lily. But
Oh,
if they're married, how does she, and they said that that's um
aunt. It's her auntie.
it's her aunt's. How do they have the
Yeah.
same surname?
Maybe he might have taken her surname.
Yeah, maybe that's got to be
Yeah.
the only either that or like,
On
it's
on
yeah.
IMDb, that's just Alex's dad and Alex's mum. There's no surnames at all. Like he's Alex.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Gladys, dude. We need to talk about Gladys because she's fucking fantastic. She's so damn good. And honestly, I credited her in my letterbox review as it's Larry David in drag. I could not picture her not being Larry David. There's this thing that she does when she walks into the house. She throws her arms up and appreciates something on the walls. It's 100% watching Larry David in Curb Your Enthusiasm. Um, if you haven't picked up on that, and when you go back and watch it again because this movie is definitely rewatchable. You'll pick up on. Hopefully, you pick up on that because it's fucking hysterical. It's hysterical. Um,
I just loved that whole um that whole performance
mm,
was 100% believable. I believe that everyone
yeah, yeah.
has someone that has gone into their life that has had that sort of energy, that sort of demeanor,
Hmm.
and everything like that. That like I think you can relate to it. I had an art teacher that was like that.
Oh yeah.
That like like down to like the messy makeup. Like I had. And like not that I blame them for it. What they do is what they do. But like my art teacher was known for always having like lipstick on her teeth, and
Yeah,
it was
yeah, yeah,
always
yeah.
crooked, and she was very eccentric.
I think everyone had art teachers like that.
Yeah, yeah. And that was like
Floral
how I'd put
dresses,
it. Yeah.
glasses.
Oh, like had the dresses. My art teacher was like gothic, like wore a lot of like
Oh right.
black stuff, like um, but always like bright makeup with the black
Mm,
stuff, and maybe
mm.
like a bright scarf or bright socks or something. But
Yep.
like 70% of like her image would be black, and then there'd just be like dashes of color in there. Um, but I think that's what's so unnerving about Gladys is technically comes across as a really lovely lady. Like quirky, sure. Like you
Yeah, yeah,
can't deny that. But like and maybe a little bit too like assertive, like the
yeah.
way
Yeah.
that she enters the house and like starts. I don't like that as a person. I don't like, but there are people like that
Oh
sort
yeah,
of.
yeah. It's yeah,
Um, but
yeah.
apart from that, I'm going like this person is believable. Like they're.
She is. She's sick. Well, the thing we're introduced to her because she goes there to stay with Alex's parents because she's sick, and
Mm,
the husband doesn't know her. That conversation between Alex and his dad in the car is really sweet and lovely. Like he's a good dad. You can tell that they love their boy. But the fact, yeah, that when she comes along, what? And sorry to take it off. I don't think it's taken off track, but we never told, like, because she's, sorry, this is scrambling for the right words, but she's sick and she's obviously there to try and get healthy. And that's why she took over his mum and dad, like she did the voodoo, whatever the witchcraft on them.
mm.
And she said that didn't help. So now that's why he got all the kids' personal stuff, so she could then take all the kids. And that seemed to be working, but we're never told why or how that might work and that's what I actually quite enjoy that. I quite like that because we don't need to know why, rather most movies, especially a lot of modern horrors, would try and go into depth in explaining that and how it's going to heal her and go through all that exposition. This movie doesn't do any of that. It doesn't insult our intelligence. It just tells this story, and we are left to fill in the gaps if we want to. Which I think is much. I don't. I think some might see it as lazy writing. I think it's actually quite. I think it's quite. It's a good change of pace from a modern horror film where it doesn't speak down to its audience.
Yeah, I'm 100% up for like ambiguous endings
Oh
and
yeah, 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 yeah.
having everything not explained because the
Yes.
issue is.
because
Well,
not
there's a
everything is
couple of
explained in
issues.
life.
Exactly, right? Like we don't
Mm.
have life's answers.
No.
Um, but then the more that you explain, the more you open up the story for people poking holes in it, right?
Exactly.
And you don't want that.
Exactly.
You don't really want it taken away from it. Obviously, we know that that stuff doesn't happen,
Mm.
or at least as
Mm.
far as we're concerned. I don't know of any stick snapping witches or anything. I did say
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
stick there. No,
Yeah.
um, going, I don't know of that. If it happens, then it does. But,
Mm.
we get that sort of thing where another thing that I like with this, and it's the same with Barbarian, is Zach Cregger puts on the screen what he wants you to see. Everything is
Yeah.
deliberate,
Yeah.
but it doesn't rely on like heavy exposition or like dialogue
No.
to explain the situation.
Yeah. Because
Basically,
he trusts the audience.
yeah, he
Yeah.
understands or hopes that people are of the intelligence
Yeah.
or to understand it.
Hmm.
He's obviously making this towards a certain audience, but then it's also a skill of his own that if he's putting that um, sort of expectation on the audience to grasp and understand it, then he's
Yeah.
got to do a fucking good job to explain, right?
Absolutely.
And
And
to
he
show it.
does.
And
It's
I think
great.
so.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I was reading some trivia about this and how it got released, and there was a bidding war on his script, and
Yeah.
he and
Fuck
Netflix,
Netflix.
yeah, Netflix really wanted it, and they offered a lot of money, and he was like, well, he said no, basically, and I think, and he got final cut through New Line. New
Yeah.
Line gave him final cut under the proviso. I had a robust theatrical release. Um, and he's big on physical. I actually read something just before we started recording this that he's been trying to get Barbarian released on physical media,
Mm.
and he's hitting brick walls. Basically, he's saying he's trying, but no one's listening to him. So, which sucks, man, because Barbarian's a great film, and if
I
any,
love it.
yeah, Barbarian's fantastic. Speaking of Barb, I loved seeing the little Justin Long cameo in this as well because I like
Hmm.
Justin Long. I mean, a lot of people don't, but he's found his niche with horror. Again, he's a comedy actor. He's a very funny actor, but I'll keep
Yeah,
saying
he's
until the cows come home, there's a very fine line between comedy and horror. Um, it's yeah, and comedy actors work doing horror films. It's brilliant.
yeah, and I look, it's one of those things as well that um it's sort of just it's not going to be for everyone. But I love that. I love when a movie isn't for everyone
Mm,
because who it is for, those people like will like champion it strongly.
yeah,
Like
yeah, yeah,
like
yeah.
people did with Barbarian. And this
Mm,
is going to be like tenfold because it, has more of a
mm,
release than Barbarian did. Um, and it's one of that this movie has made people go to the cinemas, much like Sinners did.
yes. Well, let's
People are
talk about that.
like, we're going to the cinemas. How? And it's all because of horror.
Let me well, not tell you a story, but I have theories on things, right? This cinema the genre is going to save cinemas as it stands at the moment.
Hmm.
They're lower budget, they're low to mid budget films. They're making the most money. If we remember back to 2007 through to 2010, 12, the world post 9/11 and the what did they call it? Weapons of mass destruction, that whole invasion of the Middle East, Afghanistan and Iraq. The world needed superheroes because it was a really uncertain time, and superheroes provide certainty. People, again, cinemas art is supposed to hold a mirror up to society. Superheroes were doing it at the time. Now the world is such a really fucked up place post pandemic. Everything's mixed up. Everything's just topsy turvy. People are looking for some answers, and horror is giving that. Horror is reflecting what we're seeing in real life, and Weapons does that so well. It really reflects that real life. That's where it's grounded. Is that what happens in apart from the witchy stuff? What happens in Weapons can happen in real life. Like people's kids get kidnapped often, right? Maybe just not in bulk like it does in this movie, but it's um it's really reflective of the fears that people have nowadays because the world isn't a safe place, not nearly as safe as it was back even when superhero movies were out and about. Certainly not back in the days I grew up. Definitely not a safe place. And horror movies are really leaning into societal issues and societal fears and scares, and people like to go see that because it gives them a shared experience. It's like it, cinema is all about representation. Representation matters, right? And that's what the horror genre is doing for people at the moment. And people are going, I don't think from a psychological perspective, most people realize that's what they're going to the cinema for, but 100% horror is saving the cinema because of everything I've just said. Sorry, your turn to talk. You're on mute.
Yeah, no, like I agree. Like I think I don't know necessarily if people realize like that going to the movie has become such a thing for them.
Mm, yeah.
Like or that it's a rarity, like or if they realize that these movies are making them want to go. Obviously there's people that have sort of spent their life always going to movies and it hasn't really stopped or anything like that. Um,
It's
but
slowed
then
down, but
yeah, for a lot of people it's slowed down.
mm,
And a lot of people go like, "Oh, I don't remember the last time anyone went to, that I went to the movie."
mm,
Um, and it's very much like that. And I think that the fact that you go on there and you see someone post about weapons, like on
mm,
Instagram or something like that, they put up a story or they like do like a post, right?
yep,
And then you just see people going, I can't wait to see it in the movies, or I'm going to see it
yeah.
in the movies on this. Like, how
Mm.
good and refreshing that is to go, like, oh, I can't wait to like watch this on Netflix, you
Yeah,
know?
no, well, have you ever seen a post of that? Like, how many people come out about, oh, I can't wait to watch this on Netflix or Happy Gilmore 2 or something, right? Like, it just doesn't
Yeah.
happen.
Yeah. So,
Yeah,
or you go like, oh, what streaming service is that on? Like, everyone knows this is in the movies.
yeah, yeah.
I think that that was
Uh,
the smartest thing that they could do with this.
mm. Well, they need to, and yeah, the fact that he fought for that theatrical release is brilliant because this is not. I mean, this could easily be a streaming movie, and honestly, if it was, it'd be 3.5 stars because there'd be too much interference, especially from someone like Netflix. They'd be wanting it to be over-explained, like I was saying before. They would want the explanation of how this is healing her or how isn't healing her, like her witchery and whatnot. They would
Yeah.
want that explanation.
And it would probably be like wrapped up at less than 100 minutes as well.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's for
They
the
wouldn't
yeah.
let it go for that long. Like you'd be lucky if you got like a 90-minute movie,
Mm,
basically. Like they would
yeah.
be like, nah, wrap this up. We
Mm,
don't have because at the same time, like what Netflix wants to do is be able to like continually like bash you over the head with content.
yeah.
Like all the time. Like look at what we've got. And
It's
it's
fast
all about
fashion.
quantity, right?
They're the
Exactly.
H&M and Zara of cinema. That's what they
Yeah.
are. They make
They're also
junk.
the fast food of cinema as well, right? They're the
Well,
McDonald's of cinema.
I don't think I'd even put them in that. Yeah, I mean, I get why people would say that, but I think it's more fast fashion. It's disposable. Everything they make is disposable. It's not a junk. It's just disposable. Like you buy a t-shirt now that comes from Bangladesh or wherever, and you wear it for 3 months because the quality's so bad, and you throw it out and buy a new one because it's so cheap. That's what Netflix does. I've asked this question quite a lot to quite a few people is how often do you go back and rewatch a movie you've seen on Netflix that even if you've really liked it, how many times do you go back and rewatch a movie where a movie that you've seen in the cinema and you might own a Blu-ray or 4K of it, you rewatch them heaps. But how many times have you gone, what's a movie you really loved on Netflix? Say a movie like their Oscar movies like Roma or something. Seen it once, loved it, but I've never gone back and watched it again. But if I owned it, I would.
Is that like, see, as far as like Netflix exclusive movies go,
Yeah, yeah, that's
I
what I
I
mean. The
don't, I
Irishman.
don't think I ever have gone
Yeah,
back and
exactly.
watched the movie. Like,
I
there's a
think I
high
have.
chance that I haven't.
There might be one or two I have with, but it's not. Don't Look Up is one I can t talk off the top of my head that I have, but I watched that twice within 2 weeks maybe, but haven't been back.
Yeah, and I'd definitely buy that on physical media.
Yeah,
Isn't that
yeah,
crazy though? Like,
yeah.
it's exactly that. Is that because
It's
of
disposable.
they throw it at the screen, the
Mm,
user interface obviously changes based on what app you're using, what
Yeah.
system you're playing it on, all this. Like it
Hmm.
always looks different. It's not a
Mm.
universal user interface. So that like UI there then also comes into play of going, I've seen it on certain TVs where like it will like break it down into genres, break
Yeah.
it down, and sometimes the accessibility isn't there. Like
The yeah, I'm not a
it's
yeah, I don't like the Netflix UI because they really hide your continue watching thing
yeah,
sometimes. Sometimes it's at the top and sometimes it's just can't be fucking found and you scroll up and down trying to find what you've been
yeah,
watching and it's not
exactly.
there. Like which is why I
Um,
don't have Netflix very often.
yeah,
Um
like it's so that because of that reason, it's so easy for things to get lost in there.
yeah,
And
yeah.
obviously we've touched on Sinners, and I think it would be the exact same. I think if Sinners got released
Yeah.
on Netflix, it would be lost.
Yeah, it would.
Um,
It wouldn't
it would
be
stay
as
in
good
like,
as but it also wouldn't be as good as what it is
well,
either.
that too. But it would be one of those things that, like, if you go onto Netflix and it says like, because we're in Australia, obviously, anyone listening, we're Australians. Um, it says
G'day,
like
mate.
top 10 movies in Australia, right?
Yeah, yeah.
All right, Sinners would probably stay in the top 10 for a few months, right?
Yeah,
I'd say a
yeah.
few months, like it would drop,
Oh,
but
yeah,
I
yeah,
would
yeah.
say for a few months it would stay in the top 10 and
Mm.
it would fucking disappear.
I don't think Netflix, most Netflix people who own Netflix and only on Netflix, I don't even think it might not even make number one, mate, because it's too
See,
smart.
I reckon it would. It would,
That's a horrible thing, but that's
well,
too smart for Netflix viewers, the
yeah.
general Netflix viewer, you know?
See, it just depends, obviously, because marketing would change based on
Yeah,
Netflix.
yeah,
So whereas I think there was a lot of marketing for it. Same with, all right, let's use Weapons as an example,
okay.
and the
Yeah,
comparison
we
with
should talk about
Barbarian.
weapons. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Um,
Yeah, well,
is that
Barbarian was a streamer. It
was
went
a
straight to
streamer,
streaming. Yep.
but for us to get it
Mm.
in Australia was like ages after
Yeah, yeah,
almost the rest of the world.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Like I think we got it. I could be wrong, but we only got it on Netflix last
Barbarian
year
was
or the
original.
year
It's
before.
actually no, it came to Disney Plus. It's a Disney Plus original. That's where it
Oh,
came. Well,
okay.
Hulu. So we got
But
it on
even
Disney
that,
Plus, but
like,
they
we
shopped
didn't
it
get that
around.
straight away, and we didn't
It's
get it straight away.
no, it normally takes at least a couple of months for that. Yeah.
Um,
It's not even on Disney Plus anymore because they shopped it around. It went to Prime and now it's on Netflix and it's Disney Plus are doing weird things with their catalog, to be honest.
yeah, but it just comes down to, see, I think that they marketed Weapons amazing,
Oh, the marketing, yes, we need to, yeah. Thank you. We need to get back on track to weapons. Yes, marketing for
but
this was
taking that into
great.
consideration and what they did with how smart they were by saying no to Netflix is realistically how much advertising, even at release in America,
Mm.
like on social media, did we see for Barbarian? Only word of mouth was pretty much all I saw
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
from
Well, I mean,
Americans.
people who people who follow the movie business knew about it, but people who don't didn't know about it, and they probably still don't. You know, people who
Yeah,
just put on a streamer and say, "What can I choose tonight?" and just scroll through and pick something like. But people who follow movies like us, yeah, we knew about it, but that's about it, right? So I know it was one
uh,
of those ones that you can't stumble upon.
no, you couldn't. Like, the only way that you could do that, and going back to Netflix for this, would be that when it did go to Netflix in Australia,
Yeah,
I think that it had that bold red color cover,
yeah.
and I think that the simplicity of that probably helped because there's a lot of tacky covers on Netflix, like, um, and
Well,
this
it's not
had
on any
its
streaming service again now. I'm just looking it up. It's completely off streaming
it's
services.
off it. There you go.
Yeah,
Um, but
which is why I brought it on iTunes.
it's why I have it on VHS. I'm not going to say how I got that, but I have a
That's
VHS.
intriguing.
um, um, but yeah, so I think we we will also see the hype of um weapons bring hype to Barbarian, which will be good people will go like, "Holy shit, this movie's great. What has this guy done?" They will then learn about Barbarian if they don't already know about it, and they'll go and watch it. And then you would have had some people that sort of were on the fence about Barbarian going, "Oh, nah, I'm not gonna watch it." Um, they'll watch Weapons, and then they're gonna go, "Actually, I'll give Barbarians a shot."
Yeah. It
Um,
absolutely will get viewers, which is probably why it's been taken off streamers. They'll sell more
yeah,
on
yeah,
VOD.
probably knew that
Yeah,
it was coming up, so
yeah.
there'll be some. It will end up on an. I don't know about Australia, but it will end up on another streaming service.
Well,
Um,
yeah, it will. I mean, it's 4K too on iTunes. So, I mean, I brought mine for $5 because as soon as it left Disney, I'm like, well, I can't get a physical, and I just went and bought one. It was $5, and it's in 4K. So, um, but we need to just to get back to weapons, so we do wrap up within the hour. I wanted to talk about some highlights of. Well, I'll speak to mine first. What I thought were
mm,
highlights in this film because there were some genuinely there was a lot of times that look, firstly, Zach Cregger directs this so well. There's some really stunning imagery in this movie. Like there's some really beautiful shots, some really great acting and great performances he gets out. But there's a lot of times where you think a jump scare is coming. Like there's a lot of tense moments, and the score is actually quite minimalist. The score, but it's when it's needed, it's really comes in. It's really great. I don't know off the top of my head who did the score. Um, so when there are jump scares because honestly hard to avoid nowadays, but they're so cleverly done. And the best one in my head is when Julia Garner wakes up from a dream and then she puts her head back on a pillow and old Gladys is up on the ceiling fucking it won't say it scared the shit out of me, but it scared me and it was great and it scared her. And then the next one was when Josh Brolin had his dream and woke up and saw Gladys in the bed when he thought it was his son and woke up in that same bed and was like, what the fuck? And it was funny. Like it was a great break in tension. Yeah, they're my two main highlights. I did like seeing Benedict Wong. Haven't mentioned Benedict Wong, by the way, who's great in this. His little run and airplane run towards her at the petrol station, petrol Bowser. I thought that was really great. I don't know why, but that just really was a really well filmed scene as well. Do you have any highlights of
yeah,
moments in the movie?
I really liked the way that the movie was shot. I
Hmm.
loved the camera angles that were used and the filming techniques used. How we can go from like a almost static shot over something, and how smoothly it can go from a static shot to following a character. Like for instance,
Yeah.
when the kids are running,
Yeah.
and it goes from showing it from a static shot, multiple static shots, at different points to cut into and like amazing. Like I can't even differentiate the point that it did cut to, um, where you're following behind one of the children.
Hmm.
Like in like this third person view, basically like sort of over their shoulder almost, of where they're going during an action scene. And I thought that was really put together that they did it, that it didn't feel messy whatsoever. It felt like it was premeditated in a way that normally I don't like varying shots used in a short amount of time. It tends to feel very like messy and disjointed.
Okay.
Um, but in this, it worked. It worked that we're seeing some of the things happen, and then it breaks to that.
That does work
Go.
well in horror because
Mm,
it gets your mind a little bit discombobulated, for lack of a better word.
yeah.
Which is what it's very intentional. Actually, just looking up. Sorry, I will let you continue with your highlights. But the cinematographer was Larkin Sepul, who also did
Mm,
Everything Everywhere All at Once. And there's another one he's done. Sorry, I don't know why it's not there. Spider-Man. Yeah, no, doesn't matter. Just this though. Let's just say those two for now. Um, and Wolves. Sorry, the Apple original Wolves with Clooney and Pitt. And the score was actually done by Zach Cregger and the Holiday Brothers, Hayes and Ryan.
yeah.
Mm.
Um, and I think shout out to Wall of Sound, where you can read my full review for weapons in it, where I do talk about Larkin
Mm.
Sepul because he did Beef as well.
Yeah, the Netflix. Speaking of
Yep.
Netflix, the series, yeah, yeah. Okay.
Yeah, so did that. And another one that was really very bleak was that they did was um I don't feel at home in this world anymore.
I think I've seen
Um
that. I think I've
that was
seen that.
really good. So that's got
That
from the
Melanie
Yellow Jacket.
Linsky, isn't it?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Melanie Linsky and Elijah
Mm.
Wood in it.
Yeah.
Um
Yeah, I have seen
and
that.
really and it looks great. There's another like great suburban shot type
It's very, yeah,
movie.
it's got that LA tone about it. I do remember that.
Yeah.
Mm.
And so I really like that. They did do I'm just having a quick look here. They did do one that I necessarily wouldn't put up there, but like Cop Car with Kevin Bacon. Um but
Right.
they also did Swiss Army Man.
Oh, right. Yeah, that makes sense. Working with the Daniels because he did everything everywhere all at once as well. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Yep.
So, does great stuff and that's the unique cinematography and weapons. Not that
Mm.
I would have been able to go, "Oh, that's Larkin."
No, no, no.
Once you realize who did it, it does make sense. You go, oh, I
Yeah,
see the
yeah.
work. I see like the similarities in certain things there.
It's a very
Which,
blue movie. Like it's
yeah,
it's dark and it's blue and it's gloomy because it's a gloomy subject matter. So what are your other highlights, like moments in this in Weapons that you really enjoyed?
there was things I like when a movie can make me cringe or look
Yeah.
away or want to look away.
So what did
Um,
that?
so there were a couple of scenes. The first one being the headbutt scene.
Oh, fuck yes, I forgot about that. Yeah.
And for the most
That's
part, it's not so much the headbutt in itself and seeing
the
it,
sound.
it's the sound. Like there's a bit
Yeah.
where it shots like it turns from and it's looking at Gladys, but he's
Yeah.
still going. Like
Yeah,
Benedict
yeah,
was
yeah,
still
yeah.
and you're hearing like this wet
Oh,
thunking sound
yes.
like
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
um and I remember that was just like that sound is gonna stay with me for
Mm.
a while.
Well, it
Like,
changes, doesn't it? It goes from this
yeah.
hard thump and then yeah, it turns into
So
crunching and
almost
then
like when you're like
squelching. Yeah.
tenderizing meat, you
Yeah,
know?
yeah, yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
so that was a scene that like I was like, whoa, like that was cool.
That was a
Um,
really creepy scene with Gladys because that's where we learn what Gladys is and what she
yeah, yeah,
does.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah. How
And
she
even
does it.
that was done very cleverly.
Oh,
I
it's
love
beautiful.
that they're
Yeah.
like, I'm parched, and then they're going, yep,
Yeah.
glass of water,
I'd
and
like
goes
a bowl.
bowl,
Yeah.
and I was like, what? And then you
Yeah.
see him almost go like, what,
Mate,
what?
can you, I was half, because she's obviously a little bit loopy and a little bit crazy. You can
Mm.
tell by that by her makeup and her hair. Like she's fucking loose in the head. I was half expecting her to literally start drinking, lapping it up like a dog.
I
Drinks
did
out.
too,
Yeah, yeah,
100%.
yeah.
Like
Yeah,
I was
good.
thinking that maybe that
Yeah.
because you know that they're sick,
Mm.
um, and also like they're parched. You know, they come in going like, and all this
Yeah.
sort of stuff. Like I was like, okay, like I was almost thinking that you're gonna see like a dunk the head in the water, like in the
Yeah,
bowl,
yeah.
drinking
Yeah.
it.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, but then that there's like the click, and there's a bit where it just goes like from her being parched and sort of like disheveled and like to being completely composed with
Oh
what
yeah.
she's doing.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah.
and that was so menacing to watch. I
It's
loved that
yes.
transformation, seeing that happen. I was like,
Yep.
whoa, that it was at that very moment. It's not even like once you see her start taking things out of the bag. It's more
Yeah.
once she's doing it and she's like maintaining eye contact with them as she's doing it, that I was like,
Yeah.
she's not someone to fuck with. Like,
No,
like
no,
there's
no. She's yeah.
um
She
and
knows
so
exactly how
that
to control
was,
people.
one of the highlights was seeing that because I mentioned
Mm.
in um, my review that in modern horror, it's hard to get what I believe are iconic villains. There's
Yeah.
so many dime a
Yeah.
dozen where you go like, meh, seen
Yeah,
it,
yeah,
seen
yeah,
it,
yeah, yeah.
seen it.
Yeah.
Um, and so like and obviously it's personal opinion. People can disagree or agree, however they see fit. But I don't think in the 21st century that we have many iconic characters,
I was
despite
having
what
a
a lot
com
of people thinks. I
I
don't
was
believe so.
no, I agree. I was actually having a conversation with someone about this today, who is a horror fan, and I've put her onto this podcast. So hopefully she's listening. Shout out, Di. And Di. I'll just say Di. I don't know if you like being called Di. Sorry if you do. But yeah, no, she's a real horror nut, and we were talking about this, and we kind of really kind of come to the well, I don't want to speak on her behalf, but really art. from
Yeah.
Terrifier is really the
Hmm.
only new true horror villain who's going to take over the world like a Freddy or Jason did. Like the
Yeah.
80s, we had Freddy, Jason, and Michael all through the 70s and 80s, right? And even some into the 90s. Then we get Ghostface, and that's about it until art comes along, right? There's no other horror,
Mm.
no other franchisable horror villain.
And then the ones that I can sort of see that I don't think are up here with at least like how iconic they are. Obviously we get Valak from like Conjuring and the Nun,
Yeah, okay.
but I'm
Yep.
like, meh, like
Yeah.
I don't like them much. I think that they're pretty
Those
boring
movies, but those
characters.
movies aren't about Valek.
No, I
No.
know. Well, the Nun is kind of ish,
Well, yes,
you know.
yeah, but they're not. Yeah.
Yeah. So I go, meh.
Sorry, that was a really.
Um,
Yeah, but no.
there's a couple of characters in the Insidious movies that I'm like, yeah, like, but I, in my mind, the only ones, so you've got Art. Hands down, I agree with that one
Yeah,
completely. Art
yeah,
is an icon. Look at the popularity that he's got. Like, it's obviously
yeah.
done it.
Because he's
But
demented as fuck. That's why.
the ones that I think should be up there are now from two Zach Cregger movies. I think the mother from Barbarian is
Yeah,
fucking like deserves
yeah.
way more praise than what they got.
It'd be
That is a
interesting if
character to
it would be
see more
interesting
of.
if he goes back to those to that property or either of these. I don't think Weapons is
Mm,
franchisable.
no, I don't
Barbarian
either.
could be,
Yeah, or at
especially in
least
that
something in the
basement world.
same. Yeah,
Strangely enough, two basement movies.
exactly. There's
Yeah.
that.
Well, not that
Um,
Weapons is a basement movie, but basement features very heavily.
exactly.
Mm.
But yeah, so my thoughts are that basically I think that the mother from Barbarian is highly iconic and
Yeah.
underused. I believe that if they could have had a more bigger part in the movie, and if
Mm.
this got a physical release and actually people knew more or more people knew about Barbarian,
Mm.
like that villain would have been not even a full villain really is
Yeah.
when you
No.
learn, but would be up there. And now the same with Gladys. I go
Yeah.
iconic. Like
What do you know what makes them iconic though? And if you think of every iconic horror villain, they've all got unique character designs. They're all very dissimilar from each other in their design,
yeah,
in the way they look, right? And look and feel, I'll say. And that's what makes them iconic as well. I mean, obviously you got to be properly evil and like, well written and well acted and performed. But yeah, I mean, they all look really different. I mean, Freddy's very different to Jason and Michael, and they've all got their own individual masks that make them stand out. And then you've got Art, who we just said, Ghostface. And now Gladys. Gladys is pretty fucking weird looking, right? In a someone who doesn't own a mirror suburban sense. Um,
yeah. I think it comes down to the demeanor of Gladys too, because we
yeah,
know that
she
some people,
plays ditzy and whatnot, but
yeah,
she isn't. Yeah,
but at the same time, some people aren't as great at applying makeup as others. Like that's a common fact. Like there's,
yeah.
but so Gladys could have
Well,
easily come
well,
across as a lovely lady and
yes,
friendly, and you could love her, right?
yeah,
Regardless of the makeup and her
yeah, yeah,
demeanor,
yeah, yeah,
right?
yeah, yeah, yeah,
You could
yeah,
be like, that's great. But how profoundly evil she turns,
yeah.
like, makes it all the more terrifying, is
Hmm.
because how easily that could be the next door neighbor that bakes you cookies that you say hello and take their bins out for because
Yeah,
she's a lovely lady and you go, yeah, cool, like she's quirky, but she's lovely, and
yeah,
probably the type that you'd probably, like take over something small for Christmas, like, oh, here's, like a little hamper or something, right?
yep, yep.
Um, she could very much easily be that person. Um, but then to see they go like, no, she's very much not that person, and she's completely terrifying, um, and basically, has like goes from this lovely looking lady or could be friendly lady like in the principal's office to
Mm.
when she turns evil, she's got the shark smile of Bruce from Finding Nemo, like, and she looks perfectly evil, like and down to a T, and she gave me chills looking at it. Um,
Mm.
which lead me to my last two highlights that of this
Okay.
movie,
Yep. Yep.
because I could keep rattling off those highlights, but I'll keep it to two. The potato peeler scene and the
Oh,
marketing behind it.
I didn't know there was marketing, but I do want to touch. Continue. I do want to touch on the
Mm.
before you move on. I want to talk to you about the peeling scene.
I love that there's two peeling, like they peel twice in it,
Yes.
because the
Yeah.
first one disappointed me. Right, you see the potato peeler, then it's
Yeah.
shot behind the character of Paul,
Mm.
and it's blurred out in a way that you, because of how it's shot, you see the peeler go down, but you don't really see what it's done
Yeah.
because the focus is on Julia's character.
Yeah.
So the foreground is blurred, and the
Okay.
background where
Oh, yeah, yeah,
Julia
yeah. It looks like an
is in
extended
focus.
sideburn, really.
Yeah. So you do that, and although you know what's happened, you're like, oh, I still thought you've missed an opportunity to show us. And as
Mm.
soon as I've thought that, they've gone
Mm.
and shown us it. And I was like,
Mm.
that's what I want to see in horror. Do not turn the camera away. Do not shy away from the things that we want.
Yeah. Yeah.
Don't do the things where, like that that killing axe blow gets done off screen. So, no, like show me it. And the fact that they answered my thought as soon as I thought it, I
Yeah.
was like, yep, cool, you've got me there.
Yeah. There's
Um,
points. Yeah.
and the marketing behind that in America, I don't know what cinemas were doing it or if it was certain events. When people left the cinema,
Yeah.
they were given potato peelers. Like they're
That's
in little plastic baggies with a little like cardboard, what do you call them? Like the headers that you'd normally get on like,
yeah.
like the toys or whatever.
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
And it
Yeah.
had the weapons stuff on it. Like so it was like an official
Wow.
weapons potato peeler.
That's amazing.
How good is that?
That's cool
Like
as.
that is so good.
J- uh, so just on that theme of peeling, I've never seen a peeler used as a weapon before, ever, until today.
Mm.
But I saw it twice today because there's an Apple TV series called Foundation. It's a sci-fi series and it's in
Mm.
season 3. Episode 3 this morning I watched before I took myself off to watch Weapons. There's a bad guy in that who's just come into season 3 and he uses a potato peeler on someone and peels off some of their arm or their face. And I'm like, oh man, that's crazy. And it's not a horror show at all. This guy's just a fucking asshole. Um, and then I see it in Weapons. The first time I've seen it in my life, and I see it twice in one day in two different properties. It's amazing.
And
It's mind blowing.
I love that the properties realize what they're doing. Much like Evil Dead Rise with the cheese grater. They
Yeah,
marketed that there was promotional cheese graters released for that
really.
movie.
Wow.
Um, they
Oh,
knew
that's
that it was going to be
horrendous.
iconic, and the fact that they're making like like household objects, these iconic like promotional
When are
pieces,
we getting the apple
amazing.
core of death? We need the apple
Yeah,
core of death.
well, that comes in the next one. But you know, and then touching on that as well, like some of the shots that they did, like the syringes in the face,
Oh,
um,
yeah, yeah, yeah,
just
yeah.
just more showing things.
Mm,
I like when they show things. Like I mentioned, they don't shy away from it. So, like
mm.
for instance, the
Stabbing the
syringes
forks in
in the
their face.
face, the forks, the
Yeah.
fucking pan thrown at the head.
Yeah, yeah,
And the
yeah.
way it
That big
hits,
cast iron pan.
I
Yeah.
literally went, fuck, like when I saw it, because that would hurt, right?
Those
Like, and
cast iron
he's just,
pans are not light.
yeah,
They're
and it
heavy
hits him like
in real
side
life.
on, like, and
Yeah,
he
yeah, yeah.
doesn't even slow up from it.
Yeah, it wouldn't.
The fact that he threw it, I was like, whoa. Um, and then last but not least, the demise of Gladys and what they
Oh,
showed of that. Oh,
yes, yes, yes.
I saw. I went to the advanced screening of that again. Thanks to Wall of Sound for sending me to that, and for Universal Pictures and Warner Brothers for the heads up there.
Shameless plug.
Just got to do it.
Yeah.
Um,
Where's my
but
free stuff?
yeah,
Universal.
there you go, Universal, Playmaker Digital. um, but so we're watching it where no one has had that opportunity to ruin it or spoil it for
Yeah,
anyone.
yeah, 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 yeah.
and they're showing the demise of Gladys and what's happening,
It's
like
so good.
like a
Her
scene out of Dawn of the Dead, and
her
I'm
run.
hearing people going like, and like girls like going like screaming. I heard one guy literally go, "What the fuck?" and I was like, "Yes, this is
Man,
amazing."
in the cinema, I wrote my letterbox review. Like, it's because I when she started running, when she realized what was happening, I had to contain laughter because I was waiting for it. I was the only one in the cinema laughing at that because it was Larry David in drag running for her life, and she was like, oh, off. And oh man, the way she did it was so comedically brilliant. I laughed so hard and I was nearly choking because I just thought, oh shit, I better shut up a little bit here. It was so great.
Isn't it weird how like audiences change and aspects of movies? At the
Yeah,
screening that I went to,
yeah,
everyone was laughing in that scene. The
really.
whole theater was in hysterics
Yeah,
because it is definitely there's comedy
it's a
elements
comedy.
in
Oh,
it. Like
absolutely. Yeah, yeah,
just like
yeah.
Barbarian was too,
Yes,
right?
yeah,
Like
definitely.
and I don't know if necessarily people pick up on that or not. I think there's
It's
definitely
no,
been people that haven't.
not in on
Um,
first watches. You definitely don't because you think you're in for something else. It's not until subsequent watches where you pick up humor.
But like you're telling me, like, because we've seen it in movies before or like
Yeah.
shows before, you see Gladys go running past in between houses. You're seeing from the view of the person like mowing his lawn or hosing his like garden down. You see her go past, and then like a brief second later, a group of
Yeah,
kids go past, like
yeah,
between the
yeah.
houses. That's
Running and
hilarious,
yeah, when
right?
they're
Like,
running through the houses and then yeah, oh man, it's so
oh,
good.
like the cinema I was in were in hysterics over all of that, like
Love hearing that.
cracking up
Love that.
laughing. Um, the guy next to me had like probably the most like comical laugh I've ever heard. Like just like almost like a gag laugh, like what you'd
Right.
yeah, like he was just like laughing his head off. Um, like to the point where like I don't know the guy, but I was laughing harder because of this guy's laugh than what was
Yeah.
happening. Like this guy
Yeah.
had me in hysterics because
Yeah,
he's
that's
finding
awesome.
everything and he had the most wacky laugh. If you're listening, wacky guy, like I love it. Um, but yeah, so that's what I liked. And then I don't know, the ending sort of eh, I don't know how I feel about the ending.
I
That's
liked
probably
it. I actually really like it. I think it's quite fitting. It's not a cop out. I don't think it cops out. Um,
no, I don't think it cops out either. I would have liked to see the kids just run back into the woods though, and then the
well,
credits.
I kind of was thinking that when the head witch is gone, like the head vampire, everyone just come back to normal and be fine.
Hmm.
But that wasn't the case, which I really liked. I'm glad it wasn't
Hmm.
that easy fix happy ending because the head's been cut off, everyone returns back to normal. I like
Yeah.
that trauma is going to continue, and because it would, because it's based in that realism, right? So I
Yeah.
really appreciated that. I did want to mention one other funny moment when Benedict Wong, oh, I can't remember his character's name, was chasing Julia Garner. So Marcus was
Marcus.
chasing Justine through the liquor store after the thing,
Yeah.
and she's running around, and he finally gets taken into the fridge, but she's running out, and he's like, the guys, get out of my store, and she said, well, fucking help me then, and
Yeah.
he keeps
Yeah.
running.
Yeah.
It's great because it's
Yeah.
exactly what you would do. Like it's that realism, and it just makes it funny because it's exactly how someone should react.
And that's what's like what made it even funny about that is I actually decided to take my dad to
Oh
see it the
yeah,
second
nice.
time, right? I was like,
Yeah,
"Hey, let's go see a movie. Um, and now my dad's a pretty like, calm and collected type guy. Like to make him
yeah.
laugh or to get any real emotion out of him, like it's got to be something pretty special.
Mm,
All through Weapons, nothing, not a
right.
thing. Like, and I'm looking out the corner of my eye to see if he's enjoying it. Couldn't really read him, and I'm like, okay, no
Yeah.
worries. That scene in the gas store, like the bottle
Y-
shop sort of thing,
Yeah.
where he goes like, "Get out of my store," and she goes,
Yeah.
"Fucking hell." I heard him laugh. He laughed at that.
Yeah.
I'm like, that was
Yeah.
the only time in the whole movie that
Really?
he laughed. But he was thinking exactly that. Like the guy has
Yeah.
the audacity to go, "Get out of my
Yeah.
store," and she's like, "Well, fucking help me."
Yeah. She's
Um,
being hunted.
yeah,
Yeah.
like, and yeah, the fact that like I look over, my dad gave that a little chuckle. I was like, "Oh wow, okay, that was
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
moment for you." Um,
Yeah. That's
So I was like,
good.
yeah, cool. But um, last but not least,
Hmm.
just for me, I love to look at letterbox reviews.
Yeah. I
This
don't look
one,
at enough actually.
don't you? Oh, they're
No,
the
I
best.
don't.
Like, I like to
I
look at the
should.
popular ones just because they're generally funny. And this one, shout out to Jay, who just wrote, my favorite missing person in this movie was Pedro Pascal.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
you know what? Like, I like Pedro Pascal as an
Yeah, me
actor,
same.
right?
Same.
I
Yeah,
do.
yeah. Yep.
However, definitely think that it's oversaturated. Like,
Look, that's not
same
his
with
fault though. That's
no,
not
it's
his
not his
fault.
fault. Like, and I
It's
mean,
just
you can't blame them for like him taking on these roles either, right? Like,
dude's making hay while the sun's shining. Good for him.
exactly.
Yeah.
But then like I think Hollywood's very much always like that, that they will grab onto certain actors
Yeah,
and like
yeah,
bleed them until they dry. Chris Hemsworth, a few years back was in
yeah.
everything.
Yeah.
They're
Yep.
doing it too. Is it Glenn Powell?
Yeah, Glenn
Who's
Powell is
like
and
he's one doing it now.
wait for it to be Austin Butler soon too.
Yeah, well, even like Austin Butler had a bit of a thing already in it. Like he was in Elvis and stuff too.
No, no, but he'll be in like multiple movies in a year at some point if he's
Yeah.
oversaturated. Yeah, yeah.
Um,
Austin Butler's between that and June, and but he's got a new one coming out too.
that looks good. Caught
Caught
stealing.
Stealing. I don't watch the trailers. I always had my headphones in when that was playing, but it looks like it's funny though as well. I think it's a comedy, which is weird from Darren Aronofsky that
I
it's a
was gonna say
comedy.
that it's very weird coming from
Yeah,
him. I don't know how he'll do it, but we'll see.
yeah.
Um, but yeah, like I just I did like that it didn't have Pedro Pascal in it. As
Um,
much as I love him, I am sort of
yeah.
going like, oh, another movie with him, another thing, because I like to watch the movies, and he's such a good casting in so many movies, and he gets picked up for
Mm,
all the good ones.
mm.
That like like I saw, I was late to the party with seeing Gladiator 2.
Okay.
I didn't see it in the cinema.
Yep.
I ended up like just watching it on like I think I like paid to rent it on TV.
Okay.
Um, and I watched it, and then I was like, oh, he's in it. And
Yeah,
then I
yeah,
can't remember what else. I
yeah.
think I rented it at the same time that like Last of Us season 2 was out or coming
Okay.
out. Like, oh,
Yep.
he's in that. And
Yeah.
then like just everything I'm
Materialists.
watching, he's
Yeah.
in it. Like I was like,
Yeah.
oh, Fantastic Four. Oh, he's in that. And
Pedro.
I'm like, oh, like, this guy is in everything.
Once you get
Um,
onto Materialist, and he's in
yeah.
something else too coming out later this year, I think. Yeah. Um, as far as weapons goes, just to begin wrapping up, for me, I don't know that there's a lot thematically going on here until maybe I rewatch it again a couple of times. But even as a surface level movie, this is fantastic. It's a great watch. I think you can probably tell that this is a wholehearted recommend, a full-throated recommend from both of us. It's up there with movie of the year at the moment, to be honest. It's still not Sinners, in my opinion, but it's still probably the second best movie of the year. Thematically, yeah, most horror movies, it's not one of those Ari Aster elevated horrors. It's very there's nothing about hidden trauma or
But I challenge you
yeah,
to
yeah,
that
yeah,
because it
okay.
actually is, and probably actually more about hidden traumas than anything
Well,
Ari
yeah,
Aster's done.
well, it
Um,
is,
this
but
is
it's
this has
not,
come directly from Zach Cregger's grief of losing a close friend, and
yeah,
how each character is actually based on an aspect of his behavior and moods while
right.
grieving. And
Yeah,
like
okay.
there's characters that are like meaning of like just straight up like addiction.
Yeah, yeah,
Um,
yeah.
and like anger is a character.
Addiction he
Yeah.
means. Oh, because of the crackhead. Sorry, I keep forgetting about James. He was a
And
highlight
like
of this
just the
movie, but
use
yeah.
of that. Anger, and
Mm.
all this sort of stuff. There's characters of like just letting
Yeah, I
that
like to
go.
hear that. Yeah.
Um,
But it,
so,
but again, those
so
themes don't run deep. They're not deep themes. It's all very on the surface
I
and
think if
transparent.
anything, um, I think if anything that they try to put across outside of that is just showing like how easy it is, especially probably for smaller towns,
Mm.
to exile people and
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
alienate
yeah, yeah.
people,
Yeah.
especially if they're not considered a local.
Yep.
Um, And then it also makes me, obviously this then starts becoming political, but it also, and obviously this movie's been filmed for quite some time as well, so it's not necessarily
Ye-
this, but like
Yeah.
how much could this sort of at least draw comparisons to like what's happening with ice at the moment over in America? Like
Oh,
very
mate,
much of like,
you'll have to
you
tell
know,
me on that because I don't see that comparison at all.
it's more they wanted to run Julia Garner's character out of town. All the blame went
Yeah.
on to
Oh,
them.
yeah. But
Um,
that's a stretch to compare it to Ice.
well, it's more they didn't want her there, and I mean, Ice
Yeah,
don't want.
because they blamed her for their kids going missing.
Yeah,
Uh, me,
And Ice blames these
you could say that
immigrants
about.
for taking jobs.
Yeah, look, I'm not disparaging. Look, I don't think it's for my
I
opinion
don't
on the
think it's
films.
that either
It's not a
because it
knock
was
on the
already.
movie. I'm not knocking the movie for it. I think it's better for it for not trying to do that high thematically dense type
Yeah.
of thing. I think it's better as an entertainment piece for not doing that. Yeah, to say it's a stretch for Ice, I mean, you could say
Oh, it
stretch
definitely
even
is, and it's
further and
not for
say
that just because it's not. Like
no, it's
because it was
no.
filmed before all of those events were occurring with Ice, now. But
You can make art fit any narrative if you
yeah,
wanted to.
exactly. It's
Yeah,
like
yeah.
horoscopes.
I mean, I look with the best example. I see the original, the 1954 Invasion of the Body Snatchers is basically a metaphor for cancer, in my opinion. When I watched it,
Yeah.
um, doesn't mean it's true. It's just what I saw
Mm.
reflected. Because anyway, if you watch it again and think of that, hopefully it gels with you. But um, yeah, look, I definitely wasn't knocking the movie for that. I think it's a pretty special movie. So, any last thoughts? That was my last thought.
My last thought is just that I hope that viewers, like audiences and filmmakers alike, take note of the success of Weapons, of Sinners, and movies like
Studios. I
that.
think studios need to
And
learn these
studios
lessons.
need to do that as well. Like,
Not
but
audiences. Audiences will go to the movies regardless. Studios
but
are the
they don't
ones,
though. Like, I think that's the thing though. Like, is
but they will. But when
but
there's
they
no
need to sow
choice,
this. They need to take options though. No, but like, for instance, audiences, I think everyone is guilty and has a responsibility for something. So, for
hmm,
instance,
yeah,
audiences are going, why aren't we getting original movies anymore?
because they
And
don't
it's
go and see
frankly,
them.
exactly. So,
Yeah,
it has to be their responsibility to stand the fuck up and go to the movies, put their
yeah.
money where their mouth is, and
Studios will
see it.
make whatever makes them money. You're
Exactly.
100%
But
right.
so they need to do that. Audiences, that's their responsibility. Put their money where their mouth is. Go
Yeah,
see the movie when it gets released. Don't
yeah,
wait for streaming. Don't pirate. Don't do any
yeah.
of that. Fucking go to the movies.
We need to go back
Which
to the original 90-day theatrical window. We need to
yeah.
release physical before they release digital also. That's
Yep.
massively important because what happens now is that a movie's out for 2 months or even a month now, especially if it doesn't do well, they release it straight into VOD and they gets rented and then or bought on iTunes or Amazon or whatever the fuck you buy your digital movies on. And then when the physical comes out, studios don't make the money on selling physical because they've already released it digitally and it's dumb as shit. They need
Uh, And I wonder if viewers or the people buying it necessarily do their research. And that's not me calling anyone like stupid or anything.
Hmm,
But I was looking at some of the costs just to rent movies on like Amazon. Like a brand
yeah,
new movie on
$6.
Amazon. No, it can be like
Oh,
$26
if
to
it's a new movie, yes, because that's a
you get
big
depending
growing
on
market.
how a person wants to buy it or own it.
Yeah,
If you just wait for the physical release, you can literally own it for that
yeah,
amount or less.
yeah,
If you're happy
absolutely.
with just the DVD of it, you would get it for $20.
Don't say DVD, Blu-ray or 4K, please.
Yeah, but I'm just saying though, like
Yeah,
if
yeah.
they're not caring about the quality as much, and that hence why they're renting it on standard definition for that
Well, you're going to
amount,
get, well, no, you rent it. You get 4K when you rent these new movies anyway. So, but yeah.
buffered 4K,
Well, yeah,
restricted
yeah.
4K.
It's obviously it's not
Um,
as great.
but
Yeah.
yeah, like even still though, like instead, like wouldn't you rather spend that much or just a little bit extra and actually own it? I know I would. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah,
Um,
exactly.
so like people need to take that in consideration, but I think that your market, your plan for market is perfect. It needs to be in movies for in cinemas for let's say like 90 days. If it's popular, bump it for a couple of extra weeks if they want, like milk it or something if they want.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Um, Physical release first. Let's say something like 6 months down the track, and then digital like a month or two after that.
Yeah, I agree. Yep. But I mean, I know
It's
for a
never gonna
fact.
happen.
No, I know for a fact that digital is making them a lot more money because it's
Yeah.
easy. There's less overheads because they're not manufacturing a physical product.
Mm.
They're just uploading something into a cloud for people to buy and download, and it's a really fast growing market. Premium rentals are a really fast growing market because people aren't going to the cinema, so a whole family can watch the movie for $26, right? But if you take that whole family to the cinema, you're up to $150, right? That's
Yeah.
why.
Exactly.
That's what's killing the cinema because
Mm.
and they're like, why aren't people going to the cinema? Because in 2 months you're going to rent the fuckers for 27 rather than people paying 150. They can just watch at home. The whole family can watch it at home for $25 tops.
Yeah. We need to make it more about the experience going to the cinema
They
somehow.
need they need to not put it on digital so damn quick. They need to
Yeah.
give it at least 5 or 6 months. Back in the day, like you wouldn't get a movie, you weren't able to rent a movie for within 12 months. People
Yeah.
would if you wanted to see a movie within 12 months, you had to see it at the theater.
Yeah.
It was that simple. Anyway, we have probably ranted too long. We'll go on to our plugs.
Mm.
You want to plug
But
your
yeah,
stuff?
go.
Sorry.
Firstly, though, before that, go see Weapons.
Yeah,
Do
yeah, yeah.
put your money where your mouth is. If you want to see original movies, this is as original as it gets. Go see it. When the movie comes out on physical media, if you do physical media, buy a copy of it, preferably not DVD, as Adam would say. I know that he'd say that about now, so go Blu-ray or 4K.
Well, in saying that,
You
we've
know,
both already pre-ordered weapons. We've both
yeah, we
pre-ordered the
have. See,
Steelbook. Yep.
because we put our money where our mouth is. So it's not
Yep.
like we're like trying to say something that we're not willing to do. I've seen it in the cinema twice now, with a
Mm.
third planned. Steelbook is pre-ordered. But yes, go see it. Do this. If you don't collect physical media, that's fine. Go buy a weapons t-shirt. Buy merchandise that will be coming out. Um, Buy the record. Like the soundtrack's coming out. The vinyl looks amazing. Um, so just put your support behind these original movies coming out so they can keep happening. Tell your friends about it.
Preach, sister.
Yeah. And yeah, like I'm going to take the opportunity to go first a little bit now. Um,
Yeah.
Thank the SPDM crew for always having us, for hosting our podcast and allowing us this opportunity, this platform to talk about our love and passion for horror movies. Shout out to Zach Cregger and everyone involved with this movie for just making something that is just completely enjoyable, like just a fun movie.
Yeah.
Um, Even without going into like immense details or anything like that, it is a fun movie. You said it was a tight 2 hours, like, and it did. It didn't feel
Yeah.
like it was long.
No,
Um,
it's
so I
very
loved
well
it.
edited.
So,
Very well edited
um,
film.
you can find me on all the usual platforms. So, Beyond Horror on Instagram and Threads. I'm on
YouTube.
TikTok, YouTube, all that. You just search, you'll find it. Um, my review again, one last time. Wall of Sound. It's up there. Brownie will appreciate that I've said that. So if you want to read more of a concise way of how I put my thoughts and feelings into this movie, please do. I know Adam has released a awesome review that I read while recording this podcast, and I shouldn't have because I had to mute my mic to laugh.
Oh,
So
really?
do
Okay.
that. Yeah,
I'm glad you liked it.
I like that. But I will pass it over to Adam before we wrap this up.
Yes, you can catch me on Letterboxd at Curbwriter, on Instagram at Curbside_collections, which is also the name of my podcast about physical media, which hopefully you all know about by now. And I also do another monthly podcast called The Cinematic Wasteland, where we dive into the history of cinema year by year. And yeah, as Mike already touched on, the super fun Happy Horror Hour is a part of the SPDM crew podcasting network. If you want to hit them up on wherever you get your podcasts, you will find anything that you might be interested in, from comics to movies to sport to music, everything, almost everything but the kitchen sink is covered. Yeah, and hit us up, hit Mike up, or myself on Instagram. We are, I guess, actively looking for guests to come on to the show, but we aren't going to have guests massively often, but we're still calling out for people who might be interested in coming on.
Yeah, I think it's important to sort of get, a bit of a list happening just so that we can, plan them in advance
Hmm.
before people learn about, what we're featuring the guests to do, with their picks of movies and stuff. Like, there's a lot of planning that will have to go into that.
Hmm.
So we're just putting that expression of interest out. As we get that, then we can sort of see what we can do. This sounds really bad, but it's not everyone that puts their hands up will necessarily be, the type of fit that we would want. But at least, we still encourage people to put their hands up nonetheless, especially if people are into horror.
Hmm.
And
Yep.
yeah, we'll go from there.
Awesome. Well, thank you all for listening to this special episode of Weapons, our very first special. Don't hold your breath for when the next one comes because it could be any time, it could be never, but this one had to be spoken about at this time, in this place, at this Bat channel. Thank you all for listening, and hopefully you tune in for our future episodes, dropping every fortnight currently. Love you all. Thank you very much. Please check out Weapons in cinemas, and let's keep this ball rolling of good movies coming. So if you see it in cinemas, the studios will learn some right lessons and start releasing good ones for us. So yeah, again, thank you all for listening to the super fun, happy horror hour.